Whoa. Revenger. There stood Atsumi with a kitchen knife. Before her stood Tori. Brandishing the knife, Atsumi was posed to attack her. What the hell? Wait, okay. Brandishing the knife, Atsumi was poised to attack her. A piercing howl tore through the air. The knife flashed, moving into a parabola. Tori avoided it by a hair's breadth. The blade sliced through nothing. Tori launched herself off from the floor and danced through the air. A series of brilliant sidesteps. She stayed out of the enemy's striking range. How crafty. You think you can run away? Sumi chased after her. The two vanished in seconds. It was literally a struggle to the death. A battle unfolding before me, put Tori's life on the line. I could no longer see the two of them, but the sounds of their conflict continued without pause. Shells being knocked over, boxes being thrown, the sharp echo of glass, containers shattering. The scene was so surreal, so far from reality, that I could only stand there dumbfounded. No, stop it! Stay away! Somebody help! Tori's scream helped me regain focus. I couldn't just stand there and watch. I had to save her, I had to protect her. My legs moved quicker than I expected. Running. I passed through fallen shelves and jumped over scattered obstacles. My sole aim was finding the two of them, and before I noticed, the air around me fell silent. My Tori had stopped screaming. Something stirred within my chest. The sound of the heartbeat, and my breath caused discord to drum my ears. Please let me make it in time. I thought that was cat ears on her head for a second there, because one of the shelves looked like an ear. I practically tumbled into a corner of the storeroom. Sumi spared me a quick glance. Directly before her was Satoru, driven up against the wall. Stop it! Stop this farce! You're in the way, back off! Please calm down, Sumi-san. You're not in your right. Silence! What do you want to be next? Sumi's face was repulsively warped. I'd seen this demonic expression before. It was the same expression she revealed on the anniversary of Junichi-kun's death. Back then, she looked like she was possessed by an evil spirit. Not an ounce of warmth remained in her eyes. Her eyes had turned a clouded, grey-white, like they had rotted and were about to fall. Her face was strained to disfigurement, as though about to crack. Her disheveled silver hair no longer looked like it even belonged to a human, let alone a woman. She had become a mass of some seething madness, hatred incarnate and nothing more. Please don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Tori was pleading for her life. She shook her head, pressing her back further against the wall. Tears overflowed from her eyes. She bit down on her lip, her face warping in panic. This wasn't the same Tori I'd seen until now. The face of this lone girl. A powerless girl who could do nothing but cry for help when confronted with death. Please, please, save me, Satoru. She begged through her tears. The lingering echo of the sorrowful voice rebounded against the walls. Tension froze the room. If anyone so much as twitched, the very air itself would have shattered. I clenched my fist, waiting for a chance to grab the knife from Atsumi. However, she held it close to her chest. It'd be difficult to take it away. What should I do? I had to persuade her somehow. Just as I thought that. Die! Ooh. Ooh, she doesn't look happy. Like, look at that. Look at her face. Tori's face, I mean, by the way. Like, yeah, that's the face of evil. With a cry, Atsumi accelerated forward. She swung the blade downwards. Tori braced herself. Atsumi drew closer, her face like a mask of death. I'm going to kill you, bitch. Tori screamed. I couldn't hear a thing. Her voice didn't reach me. Silence. Silence. But Tori's lips were open so wide I feared they'd split. At that moment... Oh my god, she's going to turn Super Saiyan. I'm kidding. Oh, I get a choice. Okay. Jump onto Atsumi's back, cover Tori's body with my own. Ooh, I'm gonna do this one. Wait! With a short yell, I jumped towards Tori. Scorching pain invaded my back. Ran in a diagonal line from my shoulder down to the hip. I wondered if my body was being split in two. But I was still alive. I was breathing. I could hear pulse. I covered Tori's small body with my own, protecting her from Atsumi. Move! Get out of the way! I quickly turned, my knees still on the floor. I spread my arms, shielding Tori. She huddled behind me, her entire body racked with convulsions. I'm telling you to move. Yeah, I don't care. Didn't you hear me? Tsumi's eyes were dazed, unfocused. She was speaking to the thin air around her. A turbid thread of spittle dribbled out of the side of her mouth and down her cheek. A pattern of dark purple blotches marred her face, but something even more venomous was beginning to show itself beneath them. It was no longer a human face. Her face was breaking down, metamorphosing into something so hideous I couldn't look at her straight on. Why are you protecting her? Are you saying there's some value in risking your life for that woman? Yes, there is. I answered harshly, staring straight at her. I wasn't wrong. I didn't know if I was right, but at the very least I knew I wasn't mistaken. Yes, it was just as Tsumi said. I wanted to protect her, even at the cost of my own life. I wanted to save this one girl. You don't understand, do you? I understand why you want to kill Inabushi. Different people. You're the one that doesn't understand. The girl isn't the one who killed Shinichi-kun. She's an Inabushi Kaiko. I'm so sick of hearing that. You want me to forgive her because she has DID, right? Because she was mentally unstable at the time. She can't be liable for the crime, isn't that why you're saying? But you know what, I don't care about that, not in the slightest. Can't allow her to live. I'm telling you, you don't understand. I'm telling you, you don't understand. Her name is Suzukage Tori, one of the passengers who boarded Flight 18. She squinted until her eyes were thin slits. It was like she was trying to see me better. What are you saying? I'll explain it all. Before that, could you please put the knife down? Tsumi lowered her head, as if pondering something. But she raised it again and ran away. I can't do that. After coming this far, I can't go back. Tsumi-san. Stop it. I don't want to hear anymore. I'll kill you, that woman, and then myself. I'm sorry, Yukidoh-san. Goodbye. Tsumi once again raised the knife. Dive for her feet. Dive for her feet. She fell. I straddled her, trying to hold her down. Let go, let go! She struggled beneath me. The knife was still clutching in her hands. I had to get it away from her. A moment after I thought that, with a great swing of her arm, she cut my fingers off. What? From my middle finger to my pinky, the 3 fingers of my right hand were severed and then dropped to the floor. I let her scream and fell writhing on the floor. A huge amount of blood came gushing out. It practically overflowed, puddling on the floor. Tori clutched her head and let out a piercing cry. Kneeling in a puddle of blood, I grabbed onto my left hand with my right. 3 of my fingers were gone. Index finger was cut down to the bone, just barely hanging on by a quivering flap of skin. My fingers, my fingers! Oh. Before I knew it, the knife handle was sticking out of my chest. The blade had been pushed to the hilt, leaving only the handle visible. I couldn't breathe, my body was hot, as if I'd been thrown into a furnace. I'm melting. My vision began to melt into nothingness. My consciousness began to fade into nothingness. The gory sounds coming from my body began to not rot into nothingness. An agonizing death cry. I tried to pull the knife out with my dominant arm. I couldn't grip onto it. The handle, its fingers gone, only slipped futilely from the handle. Geez, it can't be helped, can it? Shall I take it out? Oh. Oh. With a corkscrew motion of the wrist, Tsumi pulled the knife out as if to scoop my flesh out with it. Ugh! Fresh blood spurted from my chest. Trying to stop the flow, I pressed my hand against it. My fingers trembled as it tried to hold back the stream of blood. Told you, didn't I? That I won't let anyone get in the way. Tsumi blocked everything else in front of me. She looked down at me while holding her bloody knife over her head. Is it painful? Is it? Shinichi felt the same pain too, you know. No, it must have been much, much worse. You understand now, right? What a horrible thing the woman called Inabushi Kaiko did? It's okay if I kill her, right? No, please spare her, help me. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, she's taking many blows at me. It's only right if she dies too. She should just die. She should just die. She should just die. Say it. She should just die. Say it. Say it now. I thought I told you to say it. Again and again. Tsumi thrust the knife into my chest. Couldn't feel pain anymore. Couldn't think of it as my own body. That was the one being stabbed. Just a decrepit old doll stuffed with straw, falling apart. All I could feel was the chill of the knife as it passed through me again. Please, Satori, run away. Take this chance. Hurry. Oh boy. Slowly shut my eyes. My consciousness was immediately sucked away. Like a fog it scattered, and before long the world vanished. The last thing to reach my ears was the sound of Tori singing the Kagurame song to herself. God damn. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay then. Okay. Holy crap. I'm gonna try to resolve myself one this time. I'm gonna die. Resolve myself, covered Tori's body with my own. Shut my eyes, gritted my teeth, and tensed my back, bracing myself for the moment to come. Nothing happened. Stinging pain still penetrated my back, but aside from that, I was untouched. Timidly opened my eyes, turned around. Tsumi wasn't looking in my direction. Junichi, she murmured softly. Following her gaze, I saw the figure of a boy beyond the fallen shelves. It was Uni. Junichi, why are you here? With a stern expression on her face, Uni climbed over the shelves towards us. He was staring straight at Tsumi's arm. A knife covered in blood was still suspended from it. You can't do this, Uni calmly told her. His tone was gentle, soothing. I don't know what Satoru did, but you can't do something like this. Satoru really isn't a bad person. What? What? Okay, this is just way too complicated. What changed your mind? Junichi. Tsumi had said it. Junichi. Had she lost her sanity during the rampage and now she saw her fan before her? She was seeing the image of a dead son imposed over Uni. Unless Uni is Junichi. Okay, will you stop now? But Junichi, are you really fine with that? Uni's expression turned dubious, unsure what to do about being called Junichi. His eyes flickered in my direction. I silently nodded. He silently nodded. Yeah, I am. He undoubtedly understood the situation as he followed without correcting her. Are you forgiving her? Even though what she did to you was so cruel, is it all right to forgive her? It's fine now. More than that. More than that, I'm sad at how much you've changed, Carly. Eh? Always kind and calm. Always soothing me, worrying about me. I love that side of you, Carly. I don't have a mother, so that's why I thought of you as my mother, Carly. Her voice slowly choked up with tears. Tsumi was immobile. I watched in the reverberations of his voice. But the Carly in front of me now isn't like that at all. You turned into someone scary. I hate it. Carly, I don't want to see you like this. Tsumi's thin back began to tremble. Human warmth returned to her face. A single tear fell from her red eyes. Won't you go back to the old Carly? Won't you hold me again? My mom's disappeared after all, hasn't she? Junichi. The knife fell from Itsami's hand. She rushed over to him and took his small body in her arms. No, I'm sorry. Mommy couldn't bear it after she died. I just couldn't forget about you. Forgive me, Junichi. Forgive your mother. Itsumi's tears fell without end. I drew Hattori close and embraced her. It's okay now. It's all over. I said in a whisper. Tori had her face pressed against my chest, crying loudly. The sound of their sobbing resonated together, echoing in the silent air. Old wise woman. It took a while for Itsumi to regain her composure. Present time, 1:36 p.m. We walked together under the clear winter sky. After days of fine weather, the fallen snow had hardened. I walked ahead of her, trampling down the snow first, so she could have an easier time walking through it. She followed me in silence. Once we reached the top of the hill, we stopped for a rest. The sky was perfectly clear, a never-ending mantle of blue. I brought her alone because I wanted to show her the sky's radiance. Tsumi sat down in the snow and hung her head. I stood next to her and idly kicked at the snow. It didn't scatter like a fresh powder. It broke into countless fragments in the air and sprinkled back down the hill. The pain to my back had greatly diminished. Tori had treated me. The wound wasn't particularly deep and I hadn't needed stitches. The one who inflicted the injury was Itsumi, the one right beside me. But I didn't resent her for that. I wasn't expecting an apology either. There was only one thing I wished for her. That she returned to her former self. My wish was exactly the same as what Uni had said in the storeroom. A gentle kind of Tsumi full of maternal affection. Before I knew it, I'd become fascinated with Atsumi. That's why I wanted her to return to the way she'd been before. I was hospitalized. Before I even opened my mouth, she began to speak of her own accord. As to why, I don't really need to tell you, do I? I didn't answer. Still gazing up at the blue sky, silently listened to her story. Junichi's death, as if that wasn't enough. Last year in January, he left this world too. Yumogi-san, you mean? Yes, that's right. I was already pregnant by then. We'll never forget about Junichi no matter what, but the new life inside me for both me and for him meant hope. Junichi had worried about us and granted us a new baby. That's what he left. That's what he left? He left? That's what we felt. Even before the first embryonic traces began to form, we loved them so much. Deeply. I believed I could sacrifice anything for them. Those two little lives were priceless. Their two babies to us were an invaluable hope. Two? I was interrupted her, but I had to ask. I instinctively looked down. That's right, two. Or maybe I haven't told you. You mean twins? Yes, fraternal twins. A boy and a girl. But in the photos, it was one of them. No matter which photo you looked at, it was always a similar looking baby, wasn't it? I see. I'd been under the impression that these 4 photos all depicted the same baby, but that wasn't the case. Separated photos of either the boy or the girl. I get it, so it was the fraternal twins who were born in last August. Is something bothering you? No. Sorry, please go on. I invited her to continue, but her lips didn't move. Looking into her eyes, she seemed engrossed in thought. Was it because I had unnecessarily interrupted her? She'd shut herself away in her own world. I couldn't say anything, I couldn't find the words. I could only wait for her to start, and before long. But you see, he died. Her next sentence was delivered in a voice heavy with grief. In the end, before he could see the 2 babies, he followed after Junichi. I felt like I'd been left behind. The sorrow, the loneliness, and the pain. I tasted the despair. Those words can't even describe. So I cursed God and the fate he'd laid out for us. It was inevitable. It'd make her heartsick. Junichi got murdered, and over the next 2 years, little by little, the horrible memory began to fade. And around the same time, the 2 little lives were growing in her belly. She'd finally found a ray of hope, but it hadn't lasted. Yomogi died, caught in an avalanche. After that, Itsumi became a seething mess of hatred. The originator of all her unhappiness was Inubushi Kaiko. Itsumi swore revenge on Inubushi and at the same time was sucked down into a whirlpool of malice. She lost the ability to make the right choices. She always got the bad ending. It was a tiny little private room, you know. I was locked up alone. It was a deeply lonely place. Underground. In Marige village, in the Hiwa district of Hokkaido, Hadarubi. A place underground called Hadarubi. I was discharged from the hospital on July 16th last year. I gave birth to the twins a month later. My babies are going to be brought here tomorrow. To this island. I guess the thought of her babies had overwhelmed her emotionally. She suddenly began to cry. Her tears carved tiny circles in the white snow where they fell. Great big drops ran endlessly down her cheeks. The children. I want to see them. I want to see them. I want to see them. In the rays of sunshine that shone down upon us, her figure glimmered with a divine light. A white veil surrounding her. A pure spotless white. The color of nothing, the color of beginnings. Perhaps she was already being born anew in this world. Tsumi was a mother. Just a mother wishing for the happiness of the 3 children. I knelt beside... Wait, no, wasn't there 4 pictures though? I mean, since there was the 4th child, right? I knelt beside her and took her hand. She buried her face in my shoulder. Or maybe the 4th photo was actually Junichi as a baby, and then there was Junichi as a kid. So yeah. I'm sorry, she muttered. And I lied to you. I'm not a psychiatrist. But I didn't care about that anymore. I'm sorry. Her hot tears soaked through my shirt as she continued to weep. Research. Not even a month had passed since the winter solaced. The sunset came early to Usagi Island. The perfectly clear winter sky was dyed as a myriad, the graduation of red from west to east. A bewitchingly clear sunset. For 4 days straight, Usagi Island had been blessed with fine weather. But at Mount Akura, the snowstorm still raged. According to the magazine article, the weather won't improve until dawn on the 17th. Then at 6:53 on the same day, an avalanche will occur at location X. Present time, 4:15. The time drew nearer every moment, but there was nothing I could do now. The Uni on the shelter cabinet clearly stated the next transfer would occur tomorrow at 4:48. If I chose to believe him, that would mean I just had over 12 hours. In order to rescue the 4 shelter cabin refugees, a space-time transfer was essential. The only thing now I could do was wait. I went back inside. Even now I couldn't get accustomed to seeing the destroyed, stated living area. I didn't feel the slightest desire to tidy it up either. I sat down on the ripped-up couch, and started thinking about matters at Sphere. After a confession of the healer, Tsumi had quietly returned to her room. She'd taken a sedative and was now sound asleep. Uni was there watching over her. Tori had locked herself in her room and wasn't coming out. She's holding onto the knife that Tsumi had with her, I guess for self-defense, and won't put it down for a moment. I doubted Tsumi had any desire to kill her anymore, and though I insisted upon the fact to Tori I was unable to soothe her. She'd already been close to death once. I suppose a reaction like that was unavoidable. It's all well and good that Asumi's given up on trying to kill her, but things between the 4 of us here were still very awkward. The hearts of everyone at Sphere, mine included, had darkened. We'd misunderstood one another and began to see suspicious going-ons around every corner. Yes, misunderstood. This is all one big misunderstanding. I'm not the one who killed Enomoto, and Tori wasn't the one who killed Shinichi's life. Consequently, Uni had no reason to fear me, and Atsumi's hatred for Tori had never been anything more than a horrible mistake from the start. So if I tell them what I know, the truth about the space-time transfer, would I be able to open the path to reconciliation? But still, no matter how I insisted, I don't think they'd believe me at all. And, on the off chance that they actually did believe me, the 3 of them might stop being so paranoid, but I just couldn't get past my lingering distrust. Because someone is definitely after my life, and the culprit is unrelated to the space-time transfer. The 2 women still haven't escaped from my suspicion. Of course, I trust Tsumi now, but I have no idea what she thought of me before this morning. Suzukange Tori. Tori's consciousness isn't Unubushi Kaiko. She merely happened to be on the ill-fated Flight L-18, and by what you could call the whims of fate, she was unfortunately caught up in the transference phenomenon. In that regard, she's just another unlucky victim in this chain of strife. Of course, there's never been blood on her hands before now, I'd wager. Tori's consciousness, as far as I can say, is innocent. However, while they may not be true, I can't state definitely that she's not the one behind the attempted murders. Her aberrant speech and conduct up to this point has given rise to plenty of suspicion. I don't know what her motives are, but I can't shake these lingering doubts that she might be capable of it after all. Tsumi Kali. Tsumi tried to kill Tori, not me. But what if at the time she was putting her plan into practice, she felt I was in the way? Wouldn't the thought of getting rid of all the possible obstacles have crossed her mind? I didn't want to suspect her, but I can't deny the possibility that she's the culprit. Suda Uni. Regarding Uni, I guess I could rule him out. Don't need to explain why. I believe in him, that's enough. Even if I'm one out of my way to find a reason to suspect him, he has no motive, and he's even got an alibi for the incident at the clock tower. I'm sure it's impossible for the culprit to be Uni. Wait, no he doesn't? No he... Oh my god, am I right about that again? Because Kasuda goes to the past after peacetime at Sphere, and they did a whole loop. So that means while there's a Uni at Sphere, there's also another Uni. No, it's just before the Uni from 2011 shows up at Sphere. But there is another Uni waiting around for the first transfers to happen, so he can enter 2011 again and do the infinite loop. Meaning, it is completely possible that Uni is the one who was at the clock tower. But it's the future Uni before he jumps into 2011. Oh, why didn't I notice that sooner? That's what it's going to be, isn't it? Oh, I hope so. That's really cool. The clock tower, the bathtub, my left arm. It's possible for Enomoto to be responsible for all of this. But there's one thing he couldn't possibly have done. The situation with the DMT and the MRO inhibitor. My body drank that liquid yesterday morning after Enomoto's death. Therefore, in that case, there's no way he could have unpardoned it. Even if he was the one who went after me the first 3 times, the riddle of the DMT and the MRO inhibitor remains unresolved. No, wait. Suddenly I remembered what I'd heard Hattori say yesterday. And the person who took them is you yourself. That's right, that's it. There are more than those 5 people at Sphere. Fuyukawa Cocoro. She too can be considered one of the people at Sphere. There are limits to the time she can spend here, but it's undeniable that her consciousness took control of my body. Who killed Naoya? Cocoro. Who destroyed the living area? Cocoro again. Who drank the DMT? Konzatori, Cocoro. Who received the sleeping pills called Zactamin from Itsumi? Cocoro, of course. Then who wounded my left arm? I don't know. Hotaro proposed self-mutilation as the cause. I really don't think it was self-mutilation. That's pretty fucked up. Finally, who pushed me off the clock tower? It's not Cocoro. Did she jump off herself? No, it's impossible. It was the transverse phenomenon hadn't even happened yet. Besides, I saw a shadow up at the clock tower. And at the same time, that same shadow stabbed me in the arm too. I saw someone clutching a knife in the dark. I don't get it. Who the hell is it that's trying to kill me? I writhed and tore at my hair. Some kind of clue. I sat still for a while, surveying the ruined living area. The sofa had been ripped to shreds, its stuffing exposed like entrails. The table had been flipped over, the chairs broken, and the computer monitor knocked to the floor. The glass divider between the living area and the dining area had been shattered into tiny pieces. Huh? In an instant, a spark ignited in my head. That's right. How could I overlook something so simple? I ran. I ran past the living area and jumped into the dining area. Without hesitation, I rushed down the stairs, nearly falling over several times. The basement storeroom. There's a south-facing door in the wall down there. A door leading to that small, dimly lit room where Enomoja lived. The door was still open, and into the small room enclosed by the darkness, I stepped forward.